Talk Nation. Welcome back, man. It feels good to be back. Let's get everything set up, man. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, let's go here. We are live. Jaron ENNIS versus Keith Thurman, or your Dennis UGAS. Blair COBBS get the victory over Mo Hooker, who missed weight, by the way. Also, Virgil Ortiz was victorious over McKinson in his first fight back since recovering from his sickness of rhabdomyolysis. Let's get into it, man. Give everybody a chance to get in here for a second. Hope y'all are blessed. Welcome, man. Smash that like button as you come in. I don't know who that is, but send me a message. Matter of fact, yeah, send me a message, man. Let me know what that is, man, because I gotta wrench somebody up. A couple people getting wrenched up today. But in case you did not hear, that's Dell. What's up, my brother? What's up, Dell? Hold on, bro. I got you. Hold on, bro. Yeah, boy. I had to get you, boy. I was waiting. I was waiting for you, and I'm also waiting for A. But check it out, man. In case you missed the title, man, we gonna say it again. You already know, Jaron ENNIS versus Keith Thurman. Blair COBBS got the victory over Mo Hooker, who missed weight, and also Virgil Ortiz in his first fight back since recovering from rhabdomyolysis. He got the victory, knockout victory over McKinson. TKO and his corner was about to throw in the towel, so it would probably wind up being an RTD situation, but he got the knockout. Vicious body shot. McKinson, southpaw. He gave him a nice fight, man. But Virgil Ortiz, bro, you know what I mean? Like watching that fight with McKinson, it showed me a couple of things. Like Virgil Ortiz, man, what was wrong with Mo? He didn't look. The fact that he missed weight. And see, what tripped me out about Mo Hooker, bro, was, check this out, D. Like, the boy was training with Bud and Bomac. You know what I mean? And they let this dude come in overweight. So it made me think, like, did he come into this fight just for the bag? Or was he really trying to beat Blair the Flair? Or did he think Blair the Flair COBBS, based upon his last performance, he thought that he had enough of the tank where he ain't had to give Blair the Flair 100%. Because if that's the case, you allow Blair the Flair to upset you. You know what I'm saying? This is Mighty Mo Hooker. But if you look at Blair COBBS' face, bro, you know what I'm saying? He did give Blair COBBS some work, but Blair COBBS did drop him multiple times. Blair COBBS was very active. He was very busy. So despite, you know what I mean, getting caught with some shots, I think the headbutt also got him. It's the reason why he had one of those black eyes. But Blair COBBS, I must admit, he looked better. He looked better than he did in his last fight. So I gotta take my hat off to him. I gotta give him his props. But shout out to Golden Boy. It's like his body language and all was off, bro, because he ate the straight left like chicken tender. Yeah. I don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, if it was a situation was he was just trying to get the bag, he got to check. Because if he was really trying to compete, I say this shit all the time, dog. Like, you never underestimate anybody. Every fight that you go into, you always have to look at your opponent like he's coming into that fight to upset you. Because it's the guy sometimes coming off of a loss he's dangerous. And a person like Blair Cobbs, the reason why I wasn't gonna say shit about Blair Cobbs because, like I said, number one, his last performance. Number two, Blair Cobbs talks a lot of shit. So therefore, you have to show me something in order for me to be like, you know what, man, like props. I definitely respect them because I respect all fighters. Anybody that lace up a pair of gloves and you step into the ring, but Blair Cobbs had to show me something, man, because all the shit that he did, all the shit that he talked in his last fight, and then he got embarrassed. Oh no, he had to come into this fight, and he really had to show something. You know what I mean? And he did. Like I said, he got some knockdowns. He did show grit because he did take some shots. But I still have to honestly say, even Blair Cobbs is not ready for the top guys. You know what I mean? Like Blair Cobbs better knock off a couple of those, you know what I'm saying? He better knock off a couple of those bottom feeders, you know what I mean? Like Virgil Ortiz and Blair Cobbs will be interesting. You know what I mean? That will be an interesting fight because Virgil Ortiz, he keeps taking these fights, and just like Devin Haney, he made a comment about Ryan Garcia. Like Ryan Garcia always takes fights where the guy is just coming off a loss. He's not taking viable opponents, I mean, like people who are really a strategic threat that can really mess him up from moving up in the rankings. I mean, Virgil Ortiz is kind of doing that same shit. He's not picking people, you know what I mean? Like this, I mean, it's a real fucking threat. You look at McKinson. McKinson ain't had no fucking knockouts, bro. This dude ain't had no fucking power. I mean, if you face Virgil Ortiz, not only you have to be skillful, but you also have to have some crack. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to punch. If you can't punch and keep Virgil Ortiz honest and get him up off you or possibly hurt him and get him up out of there, then he's going to wind up breaking you down and getting you up out of there. And that's exactly what he did. And he was more physical. He went to the body a lot more than he did in previous fights, you know what I mean? So he pretty much, I guess, defused McKinson in that southpaw stance by attacking his body, especially attacking his body early. And he kept on chopping on him, working on him. And then eventually he caught him with that shot. And then that was it, you know what I mean? And his corner seen that he was hurt. This is McKinson. And I got to give him credit. McKinson, he did try to get back up. But he wasn't 100%. And his corner seen that, and I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like you got to have a good corner. Your coach has to know his fighter, and his coach, he seen that his fighter wasn't right, and you could tell. Like soon as he got up and McKinson started to come back around, like his coach automatically got up and had a towel ready and was about to throw that shit in. You know what I mean? So that's how, I mean, ultimately Virgil Ortiz, he got the W, which I'm not knocking it, you know what I mean? He put on a decent performance after coming back from rhabdomyolysis. And to, I guess, explain that real quick, but I did just drop a video about that, and I explained briefly what rhabdomyolysis was. In short, it's a disease that I guess it affects, you know what I'm saying? Like it degrades the muscles, you know what I mean? Something like that. And then it releases a damaging protein back into your bloodstream. So that's why initially when Virgil Ortiz was training and prepping for the fight for McKinson, when he was training, he was like, man, he felt fatigued, he felt dizzy, like he felt the fuck out of it, like his body wasn't responding. And at this point in camp, your body should be between like 80 and 90%, but he felt like he was like 40, 50%, and then it just kept on decreasing. And his father also seen that something wasn't right, and it made him kind of check him and pull him to the side. Then ultimately they went to the hospital. Then that's when, boom, the bomb dropped. And then the doctor told him, yes, you have rhabdomyolysis. Doughboy, what's up, boy? Even though Virgil Ortiz is the mandatory for the WBO championship belt. Oh, we was gonna get into that too. Hold on. For W championship belt, Crawford, but Oscar doesn't want that smoke with Bud, but he want that Errol Spence fight. Yeah, because that Errol Spence fight, that's money for Golden Boy. Instead, because it will be in Dallas. I mean, that's a good point, man, because Virgil Ortiz is the mandatory, yes, for Terence Crawford's WBO title. Also, Errol Spence's WBA title now, because that fight was, the title eliminator. And But I said this before. Y'all know, you know what I'm saying? Virgil Ortiz will get fucked up fucking with Bud. You know what I mean? And Oscar, probably at this point, I'm telling you, Oscar sees something. And he knows that Jaron Ennis is going to wind up dominating the welterweight division. So Virgil Ortiz getting a loss at this point, and it won't hurt his career. It won't hurt Virgil Ortiz's career, depending upon who he lose to, especially if he lose to anybody in the top three. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, Eddie Hearn was talking about Jaron Ennis, Conor Benn, or Terence Crawford. If Virgil Ortiz loses to any of those guys, that's not a bad loss. Yes, he is for years. Exactly, D. You know what I mean? It's facts that you are saying, because that's not... Hold on. It's facts. This is what Doughboy says. It's fact you are saying, because that's not Virgil Ortiz fighting fighters that come off losses. Exactly. And then Del Money said, yes, he is for years. In regards to Jaron Ennis dominating, you know what I'm saying, the welterweight division for years to come. Absolutely. But like I said, man, like Virgil Ortiz, he is, and like I said, I'm not knocking Virgil, man. But Virgil is kind of like, he doing that Ryan Garcia shit. You know what I'm saying? Like he's picking like fighters who are not necessarily threats. You know what I mean? Like these dudes are, I mean, like they're fighters, they're viable opponents, but they're not somebody who is like dangerous. You know what I mean? So I have to see Virgil Ortiz in there with somebody that's going to give him fucking problems, bro. And if you try to face Jaron Ennis, you try to face Conor, especially Conor Benn. Conor Benn is fucking vicious, bro. You know what I mean? So if Virgil Ortiz want to sit there and trade and bang it out, Conor Benn will do that. He will trade with Virgil. And Conor Benn is slick. He has power. He can move. Oscar is keeping Virgil Ortiz from Bud. Yep. And let him bump heads with one time. Now, Keith Thurman and Virgil Ortiz, that can be a good fight. But also remember, Jaron Ennis, you know what I mean? He wants that Keith Thurman fight. So if they bring Jaron Ennis and they bring Virgil Ortiz to Keith Thurman's table and say, you know what, excuse me, y'all, he's like, you know what, one time, do you want to face Jaron Ennis or do you want to face Virgil Ortiz? Who do y'all think that Keith Thurman will choose? In my opinion, I think Keith Thurman would choose Virgil Ortiz. What do you guys think? You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, you know what I mean? Hit that, somebody, I think that's either Doughboy, you know what I mean? Hit that, smash that like button, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We need to build, matter of fact, you know what I'm saying? Because Doughboy, this is like Doughboy's second or third time up in here too, man. You know what I'm saying? So let's rush Doughboy up, you know what I'm saying? Y'all part of Talk Nation, baby, you know what I'm saying? We rising like high blood pressure, man. And I think we hit 1,300 today, you know what I mean? So like, man, we doing good, man. We can't, and I could not have gotten there, man, without y'all, man. So I appreciate y'all, especially now that we starting to do these lives, man. The numbers are looking pretty good. Each live gets, you know what I'm saying, better and better. So I appreciate that, man. I appreciate y'all. But like I said, Keith Thurman against Virgil Ortiz, I think that would be a good fight. But Keith Thurman has said, like I said, y'all go check out that video that I just dropped, and I put a thumbnail in there about basically Keith Thurman was saying, talking about the young guys in the division, like they looking at Keith Thurman like he a gatekeeper, you know what I mean, like he's a stepping stone. And the truth of the matter is, the time that Keith Thurman has been out the ring, and with him coming back fighting somebody like Mario Barrios, I mean, depending upon who Keith Thurman fight next, that is how you are going to be looked at and considered as a gatekeeper. You know what I mean? Errol Spence ain't gonna fight you. Virgil Ortiz got a better chance than Boots. Yeah, Virgil Ortiz does have a better chance than Boots, because Boots Ennis will put on a type of display, and he will put the type of damage on Keith Thurman that Keith Thurman will walk away from the sport. Now, Keith Thurman is probably bigger than Virgil Ortiz. I believe he may be bigger than Virgil Ortiz. And the kind of shots that Keith Thurman throws, he'll be able to keep Virgil Ortiz up off of him. And when Virgil Ortiz tried to get in close, Keith Thurman has enough power, skill, and ability to make him pay. One time is smart. I got to get at the Keith Thurman. Yes, he was plagued with injuries. Absolutely. Got to call a fucking spade a spade. But Keith Thurman, he did show when he fought Mario Barrios, if he's dedicated, he can get back in shape, and he still has enough ability, you know what I'm saying, to bang with the young guys. Now, skill is something different. Now, if you look at the body of, just who has the raw skill in the top 5 of the welterweight division, raw skill, I would have to probably say, as far as like skill and slickness, I probably would have to say Ennis, Terence Crawford, maybe Conor Ben, and then Spence. As far as like raw skill, like a fighter being slick, having raw ability from footwork to upper body movement, you know what I'm saying, the whole nine. Spence is a master of the fundamentals, you know what I mean? But Keith don't want that body work. That's his Achilles heel. You know what I'm saying? Manny Pacquiao, I ain't even gonna say old ass Manny Pacquiao, because Manny Pacquiao is my favorite fighter, you know what I'm saying? But Manny Pacquiao was older, and when him and Keith Thurman fought, Manny, he caught Keith with a body shot that damn near dropped him. I don't know if y'all remember the fight, but if y'all do, y'all remember what I'm talking about. When Manny caught Keith Thurman, you know what I'm saying? Like Keith Thurman, he damn near spit out his mouthpiece, you know what I'm saying? So he can take in some air because that body shot hurt him. If he fights Errol Spence, matter of fact, it doesn't matter who Keith Thurman fight, because any of the top guys, they know that is his kryptonite, going to the body. And if you are skillful enough to go downstairs and break Keith Thurman up and open him up, you know what I'm saying, and go upstairs, Keith Thurman possibly will get stopped or knocked out. Spit the mouthpiece out. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like Manny Pacquiao fucked Keith Thurman up, bro. Yeah, that's why I said, man, like Manny, it was fucked up the way Manny went out. You know what I'm saying? With UGAS, I believe till this day, I say this shit all the time, y'all. I believe Manny Pacquiao was set up. You know what I'm saying? Because they know UGAS is the fucking mobile killer. You know what I'm saying? You look what he did to Sean Porter. He went in there and he fucking diffused Showtime Sean Porter. UGAS is another one of those guys. He has the ability to adapt to a mover, and he has the ability to condense his style. Meaning, if he's the bigger guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, he can condense his style in his frame, and he can meet a shorter opponent on the inside and go to work and take advantage and get the better of his opponent. He did that with Sean Porter, and the powers that be knew that he had this ability, and they said, you know what, let's put him in there with Manny Pacquiao. Get Manny out the way, you know what I'm saying? Because Manny, even though he was old, I'm telling y'all, don't think just because UGAS went in there and beat Manny Pacquiao, that Manny Pacquiao wouldn't have had a chance at beating and upsetting the younger Errol Spence. I believe, and I tell y'all, I'm telling you, if Manny Pacquiao fought Errol Spence, y'all, Manny would have fuck around and beat Errol. I'm telling y'all, you know what I'm saying? Manny is if y'all understand the sport of boxing, man, if you look at the styles, you know what I'm saying? Manny would have been fucking dancing around fucking Errol, cuz, you know what I'm saying? He would have been dancing around Errol. He would have been beating Errol the fuck up, you know what I mean? Errol would not eat, especially because Errol, he loves to utilize and go into that high guard and work off of that high guard and parry punches, you know what I'm saying, out of the high guard. And Manny could have used that shit to his advantage. As soon as fucking Errol would have went up into that high guard, Manny could have just started blinding him and shit with punches and then start going downstairs, switch, turn, you know what I'm saying? Right hook to the body, you know what I'm saying? Right hook to the body. As soon as Errol tried to turn around and reset, all Manny had to do was just keep bouncing around his ass, hitting him with shots, opening him up, busting him up, softening him up, you know what I mean? And Manny was quick enough to avoid Errol. He would have been quick enough to avoid a lot of Errol Spence's jab. A couple of them motherfucking jabs would have got in. Manny would not have gotten out of that fight without getting touched. I ain't gonna take that shit away from Errol. But Manny was busy enough and still fast enough that he would have took a couple of Errol Spence weapons away, namely That jab, because Manny would have been too quick to always stand in front of Errol and get caught with that jab. And Errol, he loves to set and stick opponents, you know what I'm saying, with that jab, especially when he gets them on the rope. Manny, he doesn't get caught on the ropes much. That's number one. And number two, he's too busy to sit there in front of Errol Spence and allow Errol Spence to tee off on him going to the body. Manny wasn't going to do that, you know what I'm saying? And Manny has enough power to not only keep Errol Spence honest, you know what I'm saying, but to hurt Errol. Manny, I'm telling y'all, Manny would have hurt Errol. If Manny could hurt fucking Keith Thurman, if Manny could hurt fucking Adrian Broner, man, Spence work rate would have had Manny blame. Nah, I'm telling y'all, man. Hold on, man, Spence work rate would have had Manny blaming his legs cramping whenever he woke up, bro. Glad. Hold up. I got a rebuttal for that work rate comment. Okay, Manny dancing around Errol and would have won like that, a good possible knockout. I'm telling you, you know what I'm saying? Like that's, I mean, that's how he would have had to diffuse Errol Spence. You know what I mean? He would have been active. Now to answer your comment, bro, about Manny getting the leg cramps and shit, Ashanti or Alicia Keys, who was more beautiful? Hard choice. I choose both. Oh man, I'm picking Alicia Keys on that note. You know what I'm saying? Shit. You know what I mean? God damn, bro. They fucked me up with the Alicia Keys and the Ashanti comment and shit. Okay, work rate. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You fucked me up with that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, Alicia Keys, bad as shit, cuz. Ashanti is more beautiful. Oh man, Angel Johnson, you fucking tripping. You know what I'm saying? He said Ashanti is more beautiful than Alicia Keys. Have you seen Alicia Keys fucking lately? You know what I'm saying? I mean, and she thicker now and shit, man. Oh my God, Alicia Keys is fucking. That's what I'm talking about. I'm waiting on her fucking Alicia Keys. You know what I'm saying? I had many fucking Ashantis and shit. I ain't had too many Alicia Keys though. I'm waiting on the fucking Alicia Keys. But check it out about Errol Spence work rate. Now Errol does have an amazing work rate, but he would have had to not only apply that work rate, but it would have had to been effective. And people don't understand the reason why Errol work rate is so effective is because people or his opponents generally allow that work rate to get the better of them. They sit there and allow themselves to get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like it boggles my mind. You know what I mean? It's like fucking Errol be having he be having these niggas hypnotized and shit because they be sitting right in front of fucking Errol. And then they just, like a deer in the headlights, they just get fucked up. You know what I mean? Then he just be teeing off on them, backing them up. And then as soon as they back touch the fucking ropes, he just start teeing the fuck off on them. You know what I mean? Breaking them down. Ba-ba. You know what I'm saying? Making them, trying to take them niggas out like he did Bundu. You know what I mean? Look, it's prime example, like when he fought Danny Garcia. You know what I'm saying? But Danny Garcia was saying like he had a lot of mental shit going on. Like we seen how emotional and expressive that he was after his last fight, after he beat Benavidez, like during that time, you know what I'm saying, like mentally with the COVID and all that, plus going through bouts of depression. I get it. But still, just looking at the skill aspect of it, not the mental aspect of it, but the skill aspect of it, Danny Garcia allowed Errol to basically pummel him with his fucking jab. You know what I'm saying? And Errol jab is too nice and too fucking effective to just sit there and allow him to hit you with it. If you allow him to do that, you know what I mean, then it's like, what the fuck did you fight him for? And as talented as Danny Garcia is, I was like, what the fuck is you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like when he allowed Errol to get off predominantly, you know what I mean, just breaking him down with the fucking jab. You know what I mean? Yes, it is the best punch in boxing. But at the same time, you don't have to sit there and get hit with them fucking shit. You know what I mean? Like, that shit fucked me up. You know what I mean? But Manny, I'm telling you, people forget about Manny Pacquiao work fucking rate. You know what I mean? Manny Pacquiao still got a good work rate. And he don't start slowing down until the later rounds of the fight. So you got to think, if Manny Pacquiao starts slowing down between 8 and 9, that's giving Manny Pacquiao 8 to 9 rounds and shit to get the upper hand. So if he takes 6, you know what I mean, 7 rounds to 2 or 6 rounds to 3, you know what I'm saying? he can kind of take his foot off the gas just a little bit, take a couple of rounds and shit, you know what I mean? Dance around a little bit, conserve his energy, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know what I mean, touch Errol on spots, you know what I mean? Make sure he don't get wrapped up and get caught on the ropes and shit, and allow Errol to get off at the body. And then 11 and 12, shit, pick the pace back up, open him up, pick him apart, you know what I mean? Set him up. You know what I mean? Hopefully between those rounds and shit, he's been going to the body, because that is how somebody like Crawford or Jaronennis, that is how they're going to nullify and break Errol Spence down. They're going to use his same style and game plan that he uses on everybody else against him. They're going to turn that shit on Errol Spence. They're going to attack his body. And if they're skillful enough, which they are, to also go upstairs after they go downstairs, eventually they will break Errol down. Errol was not used to his opponents attacking his body. And everybody, especially the guys at the top, these dudes are talented at going to the body. You know what I mean? So just like Errol can stop somebody going to the body, you know what I mean? Crawford can too. Jaronennis can too. You know what I'm saying? Keith Thurman, he's really not, you know what I'm saying, known for that. So Keith Thurman, now somebody raised, I was thinking about this shit, because Boots he's starting to drop hints about he got a fight date coming soon. Now, where have you done this UGAS? Where has this motherfucker been? I know he was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Spence fucked him up. You know what I mean? He was crying blood for like a week or two after the fight. You know what I mean? I totally agree on Danny where Errol was concerned. He just gave himself and to blame on depression, crying for sympathy. I mean, that's hard to say, dog. You know what I mean? That's hard to say. You know what I mean? Because for a grown-ass man to sit on stage in front of, you know what I'm saying, all them people and all the people watching at home and just cry, you know what I'm saying, like on some sympathy shit. I mean, I don't think that Danny will be on some shit like that. I believe, honestly, you know what I mean, like that emotion, although it was raw, you know what I mean, I believe that it was real. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, I mean, when being at the top, it is a lot of pressure. And Danny Garcia, you know what I mean, he had a nice run, you know what I mean, multi-division champion. He's going to the Hall of Fame for what he has done. And if Danny Garcia happens to win another title, you know what I'm saying, at 54, then that's just going to seal, you know what I mean, that's just going to seal the deal. And like you said, he's also expecting a baby, you know what I mean, like, so we don't know the personal aspects of his life, what is going on, you know what I mean, that put him in such an emotional state. So I'm not going to say like that shit wasn't real, you know what I mean, or he's just trying to get sympathy, because for real, like, what he got to get, you know what I mean, sympathy for, you know what I mean, like his last loss was to Errol Spence. Yes, he did not display his best performance, but he lost to one of the top two, you know what I mean, one of the top guys, in some people's eyes, the top guy in the division, you know what I mean? So just like Canelo lost to Mayweather, you know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean, if you lose to pound for pound a top opponent, that loss isn't going to hurt your career. So even though that is a loss, sometimes you can get praised and people can hold you as far as admiration, even based upon your losses. When they look at your win and loss ratio, if you lost to a bunch of bums, a bunch of people like, you know, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Who the fuck is this guy? I never heard of this motherfucker, man. Who the fuck was he? But if your fucking loss column says Mayweather, Pacquiao, Crawford, Spence, at this point, ENNIS, or even, you know what I'm saying, Thurman, Garcia, Porter, you know what I mean? Like Pacquiao. It's like, you know what I'm saying, like if you got knocked off by some of them names and shit, like people, you know what I mean, or like, okay, like Sugar Ray Leonard, you know what I mean, so on and so forth, Tommy Hitman Hearn. If you looking at they win-loss ratio and you see fucking L's and you see those names and shit, you like, man, okay, I ain't mad at your pimp, you know what I'm saying? Hey, it is what it is. Motherfucker with you one of those. It is what it is. You lost by a fucking great. You know what I'm saying? You lost by a fucking great. Plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? Dust yourself off and move the fuck on. What belt will he get at 54? Tony Harrison may be his best chance. And if Tony, remember Charlo hold all the belts. Tony made his best chance, and Tony gets in better condition. I don't think Danny can beat him. That Tony Harrison, he be having them fucking lapses and shit. You know what I mean? That's how, even though when Charlo got his belts back, he did kind of give him a pretty good fight. But sometimes, like, Tony Harrison be having them fucking the mental lapses and shit. He's another one of those, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard for him to fucking focus and shit. And it's like, if he gets disciplined, I'm talking about as far as camp, everything, you know what I mean? Because camp starts, in my opinion, when you're in negotiations. When your team, your promoter or whatever, when you guys have that list in fucking front of you, you know what I mean? And then you see, okay, from one or whatever, your team is calling out names and shit. And you know, okay, who's going to be the runner-ups or whatever. And then you got a couple of plan Bs and shit like that. Or now we in the days of fucking COVID-19, so you may even have a plan C in case something fucking happen. You know what I mean? You got to pull somebody out the fucking trenches. Now, depending upon who it is, like while y'all are fucking talking, depending upon those top three guys, you know, chances are they're going to be a fucking threat to you moving up in the ranks or you getting a title. So therefore, as soon as you guys are in fucking negotiations, guess what? That's when training camp starts. It doesn't start once you get the name and you get the date and all that bullshit. No. As soon as you start talking about motherfuckers, that's when your ass needs to be in the gym. If you are not already a fucking gym rat. Some people like Boot stay in the fucking gym. He stay in the fucking gym. You know what I mean? So when he get a fucking fight date or when they start talking about, oh, you will fight this person, fight that person or whatever, Boots is already in the fucking gym. You know what I'm saying? They working already. You know what I mean? So at that point, it's just basically clarity. You know what I mean? You know who you fucking fighting. That's it. But as far as getting ready for a motherfucker, you already, you know what I'm saying? You already in the gym putting in work. And being as though he can fight southpaw and orthodox and shit, it really don't matter what you bring. Some fighters are like that. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have to necessarily work on a fucking game plan. They just get in fucking shape. You know what I mean? It don't matter who the fuck they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, Boo Boo Andre is kind of like that. He just one of them different motherfuckers and shit. Boo Boo just get in the fucking gym and start fucking, you know what I'm saying? And just start fucking training. When it's time to go to fucking work, you know what I'm saying? They go out there and then, you know what I'm saying? They get fucking busy. You know what I mean? But, like I said, UGAS though, you know what I'm saying? Like, UGAS is a dark horse, you know what I'm saying? Like, he been real fucking quiet. He didn't have to get surgery when Errol Spence fucked him up because they thought that they fractured his orbital bone, but they didn't, you know what I'm saying? Or he didn't. He was just lumped the fuck up, you know what I mean? He did fuck some shit up, you know what I mean? When Spence hit him, hurt him because he was crying blood, you know what I'm saying, for like a week or two, you know what I mean? And that shit ain't fucking natural, you know what I mean? That's on some scary movie shit when motherfuckers start crying blood and shit. But he had to get surgery, nothing like that, so he was all right. The big question is, who will Jaronennis face next? I pray it's a big name. Now, Bozy and his pop/trainer, that's what they said. They said it's either going to be Stanionis or possibly Keith Thurman. Now, Keith Thurman, like I said, he's recently been doing videos and interviews and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? With Marcos Villegas. Shout out to Fight Hub TV. And he's like he's been working, he's been running, doing all that, you know what I'm saying, eating right, you know what I mean? But then he tried to segue and say, okay, we're eating right because I'm training for a fight. I'm eating right just because I'm trying to keep the tempo good. I'm trying to stay in shape, blah, blah, blah. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Keith Thurman is one of them motherfuckers and shit. Keith, this nigga eats, he blows up. It's going to get better because Showtime going to feed that beast. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like when Showtime gave Jaronennis that fucking deal, which even to this day, Showtime, Stephen Espinoza and Boots, they still haven't disclosed a set number of fights that were quote unquote put in the contract. He just kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's around such and such, you know what I'm saying, many fights. But in 2022, they was talking about he was going to be fighting at least 2 or 3 times. You know what I mean? So if Boots fights again, which he says is fight day coming soon, That'll be his third fight in 2022. And coming into 2023, maybe the first quarter, maybe second quarter of 2023, then that's when Jaronennis will probably get his title shot. He'll probably get his title shot next year. That'll give Spence and Crawford time to get their first fight and figure out what they want to do as far as time frame for the second fight, because Virgil Ortiz is the WBO mandatory. He's also like fucking Spence is a one man, because he got somebody that's a mandatory for each one of them fucking belts. You know what I'm saying? The WBC moved Keith Thurman up to #1. The IBF, Jaron Ennis is the IBF, you know what I'm saying, mandatory, you know what I mean, challenger. Virgil Ortiz is the WBA mandatory challenger now, because he just beat McKenzie, and he was already the WBO mandatory challenger for Terence Crawford. You know what I mean? So Spence is a fucking one man. You know what I'm saying? Like Spence and Ortiz, possibly, and they may squeeze that fight in. If after Errol Spence and Terence Crawford possibly get that first fight, they may squeeze that shit in, depending upon what they decided on for the rematch clause. But I said this shit before. If Terence Crawford and Errol Spence fight, that has the makings to be a trilogy, period. I know they're working out the initial numbers now, you know what I mean, because I truly believe that when these guys fight again, now they're going to get an idea, okay, now who's going to get, you know what I mean, a bigger payday going into fight number 2. And then if it's fight number 3, depending upon the numbers for fight 1 and 2, you know what I mean, then it'll be a lot more easy to calculate those numbers. And then after that, everybody walks off into the sunset, and both guys are going to go up to 154. And by this time, Jermell Charlo has had he had a nice little minute to enjoy those titles, because that's what he's doing right now. He's enjoying those titles. You don't hear him talking about fighting no fucking body. You know what I mean? I think Devin Haney is the only motherfucker in history, matter of fact, that's an actual fact right now, that he doesn't have any mandatories for any of his belts right now. And that shit has never happened in fucking history. You know what I mean? So right now, Devin Haney is literally sitting fucking pretty, you know what I mean, as the undisputed, you know what I mean, lightweight champion. He ain't got nobody on his heels for a mandatory fight. Only thing he has to focus on is the Kambosos fight. And that's predicated upon the numbers being right for Kambosos. So if Kambosos and Country can't come up off that fucking change, then y'all need to bury that, because if y'all fight Devin Haney again, they will get fucked up. Kambosos, I mean, he already got fucked up. So now Haney has tasted his power, his ability. He knows how he moves. You know what I mean? Like Kambosos, he will get stopped, or he gonna get fucking knocked out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, period. And he probably, this is Devin Haney, will just go into the fight, take it easy. That's also an option. Just take it easy, and I'm going to beat you the same way that I beat you last time. You know what I mean? I'm just beat you with a jab, just outbox you. You know what I mean? As soon as you try to come in close doing some tricky shit, back the fuck up. You know what I mean? As soon as you try to come in close on some tricky shit, back the fuck up. You know what I mean? He probably just going to do that shit to him the whole fight. You know what I mean? Get the check. I beat you twice. Have a nice career. And he fuck around, may retire Kambosos after that. Kambosos might fuck around and retire. You know what I mean? So Tank Davis, because like I said, Ryan Garcia, he do a lot of talking. You know, you would think Ryan Garcia is a fucking promoter. The amount of talking, and you know what I'm saying, always trying to, no. You know what I'm saying? So Tank, he was talking that Tank Davis shit, But if Oscar De La Hoya said that he would put up the bag, Floyd Mayweather came off the couch and said, you know what, the fight ain't happening unless it's at 135. And Ryan Garcia and company, everybody agreed to it. So why is they still talking about it? Why is there still a conversation? If all parties agree to it, if Ryan Garcia know that he got to go to 135 because Tank ain't coming up to 140 to fight him, and everybody agreed, why ain't the fight made? You know the Tank Davis is the A side. Ryan Garcia is. I know he's the A side. It's not about the money. Okay, so now we even got the biggest hurdle in this whole fucking thing. The money established, and the fight still ain't made. Okay, who is Maxie Hughes? Because that's who Ryan talking about fighting next. I have no idea, bro. You know what I'm saying? When you said Maxie Hughes and shit, like the first thing that came to my mind, I'll lie to you not, I had flashes of Tyrese Maxey for Philadelphia 76ers. I thought she was gonna start talking about basketball and shit for a second. I've never heard of fucking Maxie Hughes. And see, that just proves my fucking point. He fights these dudes. Like, where the fuck did they find these dudes? You know what I'm saying? Like, these dudes were sweeping up the gym or some shit, some fucking weird. You know what I'm saying? Emptying out the fucking spit buckets or something. Like, who the fuck is these guys? You know what I mean? Like, even in the rankings, like, you never heard of these guys. And he's talking about he's not fighting for titles and all that. You just fighting for, you want to fight the great names and all that. Okay, so if you want to fight the biggest names in your divisions and shit, you already calling them out. So why ain't you fighting them? Why aren't you fighting Tank? You know what I'm saying? Why aren't you talking about trying to possibly fight Devin Haney, even though Devin Haney ain't going up to the 140, and that shouldn't even be a thing because Ryan Garcia is new to 140. It shouldn't be nothing for you to go back down to 135 for a fight. And if you want to just stay at motherfucking you know what I'm saying, 140, guess what? How about Ryan Garcia versus Adrian Broner? How about that? You know what I mean? Because I believe T.O.'s about to fight, you know what I mean? So unless you want to stay on the shelf until after that, then possibly set up a Teofimo Lopez fight. You know what I mean? And I heard Regis Prograis is going to fight Zepeda. I really think Boots will probably fight Stanionis for some reason because Steven Espinosa said Thurman versus Ennis is too expensive. Thurman versus Ennis is too expensive because Espinosa said he wanted to make that fight. It ain't the fact that Thurman versus Ennis is too expensive. Thurman is trying to price himself, which I knew that's what he was going to do. If AB lets his hands go, it would be a good one. Yeah, between him and Ryan Garcia. But I knew that Keith Thurman would price himself out a Jaron Boots in this fight. Because I'm telling you, like, he knows what's going to happen to him. He's not only going to get beat. Remember, like I told y'all before we was having the last stream, dog, it's statistically fucking proven. Anybody who has faced Jaron Boots Ennis and possibly his future opponents, whoever faces Boots, your fucking life expectancy in that fucking fight is 6 rounds. 6 rounds. Nobody has taken Boots past the 6th fucking round, bro. So if you go 6 rounds with Jaron Boots Ennis, you doing something. You know what I mean? Is Keith Thurman the guy to take him past 6 rounds? That is the question. Is Keith Thurman the guy to take Jaron Boots Ennis past 6 rounds? I honestly don't think so. Whatever Thurman can bring to the table, you know what I'm saying? Not only Boots can do, but Boots can nullify. So Stanionis and Jaron Boots Ennis, that was the other fight that they were talking about possibly making. And like I said, when we talked about that before, Stanionis, I think that will be an interesting fight the first few rounds. And then after that, he's going to start to apply the pressure and start to move and break Stanionis down. You know what I mean? But like I said, Emantas Stanionis, that is a great, I believe that's a great opportunity for both guys because Stanionis is undefeated. You know what I mean? He's undefeated. And I believe like his power is, I definitely don't think he has power like Boots. Not at all. He got 9 knockouts. But he still does have some pop. And I believe, like I said, his style will make the fight interesting for the first few rounds. I would say probably because it don't take Boots a long time, man, to download and start figuring out what he needs to do to start picking these guys apart. It generally takes only a couple of rounds. Because like I said, if he getting guys out of there by the 6th round, that means that he's already figured your ass out by the 2nd or 3rd round at the fucking latest. You know what I mean? Then after that, he's just chopping you down, breaking you down, you know what I mean? Catching you with shit, softening you up, seeing what you fall for, and then probably setting you up for a big shot. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't see Stanley Jonas lasting in that fight. And like I said, he can't move as good as Jaronennis. And like I said, one of his, well, actually two. He has two good punches. Like I said, the left hook that Stanley Jonas throws to the body, and when he doubles it up, he's beautiful. When he go downstairs, you know what I'm saying, then he comes with the left hook up top, and he's trying to set guys up for the overhand right. Also, like I said, his jab, I really can't give him the jab because Boots is not going to stand in front of him and sit there and get caught by that fucking jab. You know what I mean? So his jab, Boots is going to take his jab away. And he may be able to catch Boots, you know what I'm saying, with that left hook. But see, Boots, he's good at tucking shots. You know what I mean? So that left hook is not going to get through. And when he catches that left hook, Boots is going to shoot the uppercut. Bing! You know what I mean? And if he doubles up on it, oh my God. You know what I mean? He gonna catch Stanley Jonas with some shit. And then I'm telling you, his combination game is fucking vicious. And if he gets Stanley Jonas hurt, he's gonna try to finish him. You know what I mean? Boots, he don't necessarily look for the knockout, but once he creates it, it's like a shark can smell blood. And the people in his gym will tell you this shit. I don't know if Nate's still in here, but they said they train with Boots. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, they know, you know what I mean? Like, people have spoken about Boots who train with him in the gym. It's like, once he gets you hurt, even the guys that he spars with in the gym, even if he gets you hurt, he's on your fucking ass and shit, and he's getting you up out of there. So, Stanley Jonas, I mean, if that is the fight for Jaron Boots Ennis, I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Like, I like that fight. That probably will be his legitimate, I ain't gonna say toughest fight, but as far as like a fighter that has ability, toughness, durability, is coming into the fight with some viable weapons that can hurt Boots. But see, the question is, you can have weapons that can hurt somebody, but if you don't land them shots, you shit out of luck. And he's so defensively sound, you know what I mean? And like, his mobility is fucking out of this fucking world. You know what I mean? First of all, his foot mobility is one thing. But see, when you merge his ability, you know what I'm saying, to move his feet and also his upper body movement, and Boots can do this shit while he's moving and while he's turning. You know what I mean? And he can get his offense off while he's doing that, you know what I'm saying, to not only to reset, but also to get distance if he needs to. So, I mean, he just does, you know what I'm saying, too much. And somebody like Stanley Jonas, if you find out, which they probably already knew that it was a possibility that they were going to be fighting Boots, it's going to take you more than one camp in order to learn some shit that can really prepare you for what you walking into if you face a fighter like Jaron Boots Ennis. It's going to take you more than one fucking camp. So they just going to be shit out of luck. They're going to have to just train their ass off, get in great condition, so if they get caught with a shot, they'll be able to take it. Dale said, did you see where UGAS trainer said they want to smoke with Boots? They want to smoke with Boots, said all his knockouts came with punches behind the ear. And I do remember Ismael Salas saying that, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the House of Fundamentals. Ismael Salas is a fantastic trainer. And all of his knockouts haven't come by necessarily rabbit punches. The Castillo Clayton, well, no. I guess you can even take it back to the Delorme fight. Even though he wound up finishing Delorme, you know what I mean, with a straight left hand, but he did catch Delorme with a shot that looked like it was like behind the ear. But in my opinion, man, like those shots look like, I mean, like once you catch a motherfucker anywhere up here, you know, anywhere in the fucking temple or that region, you know what I'm saying, like you can ring somebody fucking bell. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much what, I mean, he did. That's number one. And number two, you can't fault Boots. This is Boots for where the opponent is going to put their head. You know what I mean? If they're in a defensive position and they happen to turn their head, or if they bend down, you know what I mean, and then they get caught with an overhand right, and that shot it falls, I mean, anywhere in this area, because like that's just the way they put their head. Then sometimes it's not a matter of you even aiming for that particular spot. It's just that that's where they get fucking caught. You know what I mean? Like, but you can also aim for that. Shout out to Tyson Fury when he fought Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, him and like Sugar trained Fury for that shot. Right, he ain't stopping him from moving. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like, shout out to Sugar. Sugar trained Tyson Fury to do that shot, which is to catch Deontay Wilder in the eardrum to bust his shit. You know what I mean? And this, you know what I mean, bust his eardrum to fuck up his equilibrium and shit. He trained him to do that. That's kind of dirty. You know what I mean? It's kind of dirty. You know what I mean? But then again, that's just one of the tricks and dimensions of boxing. You know what I mean? Like, you have to protect yourself at all times. It's a reason why they say that shit. You know what I mean? It's not just a fucking empty mantra. No, it actually means something. And when you have a fighter like Tyson Fury who throws those, like, that's why you got to watch out for dudes who be throwing them looping shots, like Thurman, like Errol Spence. Like, they throw those looping shots. That's how Errol caught fucking Sean Porter. Sean Porter was jumping in, but Errol caught him, you know what I'm saying, with that loopy, you know what I mean, that loopy left hook and rung his fucking bell. You know what I mean? Keith Thurman, he also throws those shots. So once you have a fighter or you have an opponent who throws shots like that, it's a certain way that you have to pressure them, if you are pressuring them, because you have to be mindful of that shot that they like to throw. Going back to Stanionis, he loves to throw that overhand right. And his overhand right, it be kind of looping, you know what I'm saying, man? Like, because like I said, he sets it up by going, you know what I mean, by shooting that left hook to the body, and then his opponent is already buckled, you know what I mean? So they already dropped the level. So he comes automatically, when he does it, he comes right over the top. And when he comes over the top, it's like, it looked like a rainbow punch. It's like an arcing punch. Triple G, he also throws that shot. Triple G jab is also kind of like, he throws, Triple G be throwing, like, his jab is like an overhand jab or some shit. You know what I'm saying? If that's even a fucking punch. Because Triple G jab isn't always flush. It isn't always straight. Triple G jab, sometimes it be like, it has a little arc on it. The way it's like, it comes over and he digs in that shot. So when you face guys, man, like I said, and they throw shots like that, like, you gotta be fucking careful, man. You gotta be careful, because that shit will, if it catches you, especially in the temple or the ear, I mean, that shit gonna ring your bell, man. You know what I mean? Because it's easier for real, to catch an opponent in that area than it is to catch them in the jaw, especially if you're punching and trying to get around their guard. Because remember, your chin contours, your head, your temple area, you know what I mean, around your ear, that region is still right here. So that's a solid surface. And your thickness of your arm is only probably, you know what I'm saying, what, 3-4 inches or something like that, you know what I mean? So it's only but so much, you know what I mean? All you got to do is just aim for the tape, because your gloves is right here. So you just make sure that you putting your punches on line for where the tape's at on the gloves. And generally behind that tape on the gloves, especially if you're in high guard, what's going to be behind that tape? Your temple and your ear. So all you got to do is aim your shots, go for the tape, go for the tape behind the gloves, and you'll hit that temple region every time. And that's how Tyson Fury wound up ringing Deontay Wilder bell. And talking about Deontay Wilder, word is, for his comeback fight, okay, Danny versus Lubin, if Lubin is 100% after that last fight, Danny versus Lubin, Eric, well, see, y'all got to remember, man, before Errol Spence, Danny Garcia had a perfect ratio at fighting southpaws. So Errol Spence did break that streak, but Erickson Lubin, he not Errol Spence. Erickson Lubin don't have that power like Errol Spence. Now Erickson Lubin, I mean, he's a good fight. I mean, he does have a punch and he can box, but he's not he's not as aggressive and efficient as Errol Spence, and his work rate ain't like Errol Spence. So even if Erickson Lubin is 100%, and I believe that Danny Garcia, for his second fight coming into the division, because remember, Danny is moving up. So Danny, the weight that he's putting on, especially if he maintains a smart diet and he doesn't blow up in weight, the weight that Danny puts on will be positive weight. It will be muscle. You know what I mean? So theoretically, he will just get stronger. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, as the fights go on, he'll get stronger. He's not going to get weaker. You know what I mean? And I believe that he still has enough punch and power to keep Erickson Lubin honest, man. You know what I mean? To make sure Lubin respects his distance. Don't just come in there on some dumb shit. You know what I mean? But remember, you just got finished saying, if he's 100%, remember the damage that Erickson Lubin took when he fought Fundora. I mean, he took a real beating, man. He took a real beat. So where is he at mentally? Where is he at mentally? Like we're talking about Erickson Lubin, but I sure enough haven't seen Erickson Lubin being interviewed, talking about his next fight, talking about potential fights, or even if he's ready to come back. Now we're talking about it because he's quote unquote he's one of the names at 54, but right now Erickson Lubin, he may not even be on the radar. So the more feasible fight to talk about for Danny Garcia at 54 most likely probably would be Tony Harrison. Now, if Tony Harrison is 100%, if he's not having any mental lapses, then Tony Harrison versus Danny Garcia, that would be a hell of a fight at 150. And that may surprise people, and they may fuck around, make that pay-per-view. Because with Danny Garcia's last performance, Tony Harrison is former champion. If that won't be a pay-per-view, they may make that fight a co-main. That might be a co-main. They may be on somebody. Somebody's card. So whoever Charlo decides to defend his titles against at 54, and it's not Danny Garcia or Tony Harrison, which he already fought Harrison twice. Possibly that can be the co-main event on that Charlo card. Danny Garcia versus Tony Harrison. You know what I mean? And whoever wins between, let's just say, Danny Garcia, hypothetically, if he wins that fight between Tony Harrison and Charlo defeats whoever he faces on the night, that may fuck around, put Danny Garcia in position to even talk about possibly fighting Charlo. And I know Charlo probably would give Danny Garcia a shot because Danny Garcia, number one, is new to the division and his body is still acclimating to the division. So Charlo will look at that shit as a fucking weakness. He's not strong enough to get in there and fuck with me. So he may give Danny Garcia a chance. You know what I mean? And Danny Garcia, if he could outbox Charlo, because remember, man, Danny Garcia, as far as his boxing ability, he looked good when he fought Benavidez. Danny Garcia, he was boxing really well. But like I said, his body physically is still going through that transition as far as acclimating to the division. So his power is there, but his power isn't like it was at 47 or 40. But I do believe, get a few fights under his belt, and then his punch will develop even further, and his punch will be there. This is Danny Garcia. So if I was Charlo, you know what I mean? To some degree, you're right, but you have to be careful if you happen to face Danny Garcia a couple of fights down the line. So But like I said, you know what I'm saying? They was talking about, oh, I know what I was saying. I know what I was saying. Deontay Wilder, they're talking about him fighting, I think it's Robert Helenius. Now, Shelly Finkel, I couldn't remember his name last time, man. We was having the chat last time, but Shelly Finkel, like, they're talking about, quote unquote, they have several names for Deontay Wilder. And we know from Andy Ruiz Jr., he said that he wants to face Deontay Wilder. So I'm guessing that's probably on the list. Derek Chisora, his name is probably on the list. But they said that Robert Helenius is the name that, as far as threat level, activity, the whole nine, he may be the one that winds up winning the bid for his first fight back. Now, for his second fight back, if he gets the W, then you could possibly see Deontay Wilder fight somebody like Andy Ruiz, or depending upon who wins Usyk versus Joshua 2, you may even see Deontay Wilder be able to get a crack at Usyk or Joshua. I mean, I think Usyk is going to beat Joshua again. You know what I mean? Like, Usyk is just he's too skilled, man. You know what I mean? His skill set is just too good. You know what I mean? It's just too good. It's the reason why Tyson Fury fucking retired. If Usyk fights Tyson Fury, I believe Usyk can fuck around and outbox Tyson Fury and fuck around and knock him out. You know what I'm saying? Like, Usyk will be the most skilled fighter that Tyson Fury most likely have faced as far as skill, as far as threat in his career. Usyk's ability is that nice. And like I said, he has power. And he's a great, great mover. And like I said, with Joshua, Robert Garcia teaching Joshua to be more aggressive, you know what I mean? Try to implement that come forward style, impose your will, impose your size. You're the bigger guy. Supposedly, you're the stronger guy. Supposedly, impose that will. But like I said, in order for you to do that, I mean, you still have to have some kind of degree of skill, because Usyk is too skilled. And if you sitting there just coming at me, Usyk gonna be a fool if he allowed Anthony Joshua to just mow him down. You know what I mean? So he's going to step to the side, and he's going to wind up running into a left hand, or, you know what I mean, he's just going to just keep on turning Anthony Joshua, and he's going to have to keep on resetting, and he won't get a chance to really dig in and sit on his punches. And Usyk is just going to keep touching him, you know what I'm saying, touching him to the body, coming upstairs, move, you know what I mean, turn him around. And depending upon his conditioning, you know what I mean, he's going to fuck around and wind up, you know what I mean, burning Anthony Joshua legs out. He's already, like you said, he's already the bigger guy. So, and Anthony Joshua, sometimes he has a tendency to, you know what I mean, gas out in the later rounds of the fight. But Usyk is always in great, you know what I'm saying, condition. Even when he was in the Ukraine, this guy was still fucking working. Keep in mind, people get this shit fucked up. And Vasily Lomachenko is the same thing. Keep in mind, man, like, these dudes is at fucking war, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, these dudes is in the trenches. These dudes are still working out with fucking soldiers and shit, doing push-ups and sit-ups. They doing PT. You know what I'm saying? In case you guys haven't served in the military, you know what I mean? Like, PT, you know what I'm saying? It's like personal training, physical training. You know what I mean? Like, these dudes are still fucking working. He may not be doing quote-unquote boxing routines, but Usyk, Lomachenko, like, these dudes are fucking exercising over there in the fucking Ukraine. They not just fucking not doing nothing. You know what I mean? So trust me, when they come back, it ain't gonna take them fucking long, you know what I'm saying, to get in shape. You look at fucking Usyk, you know what I'm saying, when he came back, you know what I mean, it didn't take Usyk no time, you know what I mean, to get in shape. And mentally too, these fucking dudes are different. they got a fucking edge, a mental edge now, because like I said, they seen they fucking country fucking destroyed. They seen people, you know what I'm saying, fucked up, murder, all types. So these dudes got a huge chip on their fucking shoulder. So Anthony Joshua, he's about to go through some shit. He about to go through some shit. And if you think that Usyk was tough before, Usyk is going to be a fucking handful for Anthony Joshua, man. I'm telling you, he is fuck around going to do Anthony Joshua dirty. You know what I mean? Like Anthony Joshua, he think it's going to be sweet. He think he's going to walk away with his fucking titles. No, it's the reason why he took them motherfuckers in the first place. And if you think it's going to be easy for you, then you are sadly mistaken, man. I'm telling you, Usyk is going to hurt Anthony Joshua, man. He's going to hurt him. He's going to pick him apart. He's going to break him down. And I can definitely see Usyk stopping or possibly knocking Anthony Joshua out. I'm telling you, that shit, that fight is not going to be, it's not going to be fucking, it's not going to be fucking fair, man. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, what do you guys, what do you guys think though, man? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I mean, COBBS, because I'm telling you, it's just something about UGAS, man. It's something about UGAS that's on my mind. Like, what the fuck is he doing, man? Because UGAS he's been real quiet. Like, he made a post. I think it was today or yesterday, talking about Errol Spence and shit. So like, UGAS, they might be cooking us some shit for UGAS, man. You know what I mean? If he's ready, if he's back healthy, I could possibly see him coming back to possibly fight Boots. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's not Thurman or Stanionis, another name out there for him to fight is Jaronennis UGAS. And UGAS isn't a prima donna like that where he's going to price himself out of a fight. UGAS is a game dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't mind fighting. And with him being, like I said, a former champion, you know what I mean? Like, and he knows the kind of status that defeating a young fighter, which a lot of people hold Jaronennis as possibly being, or as far as skill, he can fuck with Spence, Crawford, the top guys. So I could see UGAS looking at Jaron Boots Ennis like, you know what? If I can beat Jaron Boots Ennis, that may possibly set me up to possibly get a Crawford fight, or maybe a rematch with Errol Spence, possibly. Now, if UGAS was happening to get a rematch with Errol Spence, I could see UGAS doing better the second time around, because when UGAS hurt Errol Spence in that first fight, when Errol was having issues with the mouthpiece or whatever, you know what I mean? And then UGAS caught him with that shot, boop, had Errol Spence dazed, he fell back, he was on the ropes, but UGAS, he didn't jump on him. And the ref kind of, you know what I mean, saved Errol Spence too, which he shouldn't have did. He should have just let those guys fight. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. He was just protecting the A side. But see, if that was somebody like Terence Crawford and he caught Errol with that shot, you're not looking at the fucking ref, weren't waiting for the ref to, you know what I mean, go like this, hey, you know, put your mouthpiece in. No. Terence Crawford would have been on his fucking ass, you know what I'm saying? And Errol would have been on the ropes in high guard, you know what I'm saying, blocking all that thunder that fucking Bud was throwing at his ass and shit, trying to strike him with. So, I mean, I could definitely see UGAS giving Spence a run for his money the second time around. That was the worst ref ever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I said, man, like, you got to watch in some of these fights, bro, especially in fights like that, because these fucking refs be like, you think somebody done gave their ass a fucking envelope or a briefcase and shit, because you be looking at these fucking dudes like, what kind of why did you do this? You know what I'm saying? Like, they be stopping fights and shit. Like, the guy get hurt, he gets up, he makes the count. They say, okay, look at me. You want to fight? They say yes. The ref tell the fighter to go over there and then come back to me. The guy walks over there, comes back to the ref. The ref fucking looks at the guy and then waves the shit off. Like, what the fuck? All right, you told me to walk over there and come back. You asked me, did I want to fight? I said, yeah, and then you called the fucking fight off. Like some of these dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like they really be getting protected, man. That's why I said it is as beautiful as the boxing game is, dog. It's also a dirty game. You know what I'm saying? Boxing is still kind of corrupt, still kind of fucked up. You know what I mean? So, I mean, some of these refs and shit, you gotta be looking at it. You gotta watch some of these motherfuckers, man. You got to watch them. And the vets, the pros, like they know when to do certain shit and they know what fights not to do certain shit because you know motherfuckers is gonna be looking at you and shit. You know what I mean? The same thing with those fucking corrupt fucking judges and shit. You know what I mean? But I mean, it was some that Russell fight. They need to run that back. Which Russell fight? You talking about Gary Anton Russell? You talking about the fight that he just had, or you talking about his big brother, and McSile? Because remember, McSile, he's not the champion anymore. He got you know what I'm saying, he got beat. He only had that belt for one fucking fight, and he got that shit took. That's why I said, because it's like it don't, like, you never assume that your opponent is this, that, or the third, because they'll fuck around or you'll fuck around going to your next fight and then get clipped. Get premature stoppage. But which one are you talking about? You talking about the Gary Antoine Russell? You talking about his last fight? I'm figuring that's what you're talking about as far as the bad stoppage. I mean, that's why at the end of the day, as they say, you can't leave that shit in the refs or the judges' hands, because you don't know what kind of shit these people is on, man. You know what I mean? I guess you're talking about maybe it's a lag or something. I mean, I don't know, man. It's certain. See, remember, fights like that, though. Fights like that, they are not, or they necessarily wouldn't be in a rush to run that shit back. Because these fighters, although they are on the rise and they're making a name for themselves, they are not at that point yet where they garner that much attention, where a rematch would do numbers. Because remember, it all comes down to dollars and cents. It all comes down to numbers. And Gary Antoine Russell, he's definitely a Russell, but he's not his big brother. That's number one. And number two, he's making his way. He's climbing the proverbial, you know what I'm saying, boxing ladder. He has not yet reached a platform or a pedestal yet for him to stand on as far as his own individual talent. Right now, he's still riding the coattails of his name and of his brother, and what, you know what I'm saying, what his father has done with his brothers. You know what I mean? So he hasn't separated himself from the pack just yet. He will, in my opinion, possibly, you know what I'm saying, definitely, you know what I'm saying, he's going to have to get more fights under his belt. And depending upon what his older brother, you know what I'm saying, Gary Russell does when he comes back to the sport, if he does not look the same, then that may be Antoine Russell. Now this truly may be, it truly may be his time to shine. So once his brother is out of the picture, then, and if Gary Antoine Russell keep on winning, then he'll have a shot. But until then, though, nah. Like, if he has a fight like that, he should just be lucky he got the W, because they're not going to run that shit back, because these dudes ain't getting paid like that shit. So it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough money, you know what I mean, from promoters to the, you know what I mean, to the marketing, you know what I'm saying, to, you know what I mean, the outlets that they project these fights on. Like, it's not going to generate enough revenue. So they're not going to, quote unquote, run that shit. It ain't going to run that shit back yet. So, I mean, unfortunately, don't look for, I guess, any rematches in regards to that. But if they happen, or if he happens to get the victory whether it's a bad stoppage or not. If he happens to get the victory, then just be happy and ride along with your victory. You know what I mean? And just be glad that you didn't get, you know what I'm saying, taken advantage of and on the wrong end of a bad decision. You know what I mean? Especially if you are quote unquote, you may not be a huge name, but if you are a favorite name, meaning they want to keep you on that fast track because you will hopefully you'll continue to win, your name will continue to grow, your buzz will continue to grow, and then eventually you'll be set up and you'll be put in better position for bigger fights, bigger name fights, namely bigger money fights. And then that's how all that shit, you know what I mean? That's how all that shit start. And like I said, Gary Antoine Russell, he will have his shot. If his brother comes back and looks like trash, even though he has had the surgery on his shoulder, but if he's not the same, if he looks like a shell of himself, then it's going to be the little brother. It's going to be his turn. You know what I mean? But they're talking about, like I said, I seen this yesterday, where they're talking about Regis Prograis fighting, you know what I mean, Zepeda. Now I got to do my homework on Zepeda, so I can't really talk about, you know what I mean, too much about Zepeda. But you know what I'm saying, we was talking about Prograis fighting. I forgot who was we talking about Prograis fighting, but it looked like that is the guy that they're going to put him in the ring. You know what I'm saying, against. And I like Regis Prograis. You know what I'm saying, I like the Rougarou. You know what I mean, he's a very talented guy. You know what I'm saying? So Zepeda, I got to do my homework further on him. But Ortiz and Conor Benn, I think because Boots stops him. Boots stops Ortiz. He's going to change his life. Crawford, I don't think Virgil Ortiz deserves that shot yet, in my opinion. But Conor Benn is skilled, but he's also on a rise. And being as though Ortiz, depending upon the sanctioned bodies, he's ranking between 1 and 3. He is, even though he's a young talent, he's still a young talent with a name to beat. So I do believe that Conor Benn versus Virgil Ortiz, that would be a great fight to make. And most likely, well, most notably, that will be his toughest fight to date. Because the rest of these dudes, skill-wise, they're not on Virgil Ortiz level. They know that. And especially after him coming back from that sickness, him having that rhabdomyolysis or whatever, you knew they were going to put him in the ring with somebody who is not that much of a threat. So therefore, Conor Benn versus Virgil Ortiz, that is a great fight to make. And I most certainly know Eddie Hearn wouldn't mind making that fight. Question is, will it happen? You know what I mean? Will the Virgil Ortiz side, because I don't know why they're protecting him. I mean, he 19 fights in, 19 knockouts. They should start, he needs to start fighting viable competition. If they keep on talking about Jaron Boots Ennis, they keep on talking about the competition he faces when he continually calls out the top guys of the division. You know what I mean? It's not his fault if he can't get those fights because it's a risk versus reward. Now, Virgil Ortiz, he's not even calling these dudes out. If they have an interview and they say, would you mind fighting Keith Thurman? Would you mind fighting an Errol Spence? Naturally, he's going to say yes. But he's not calling these fucking guys out. Notice that. Virgil Ortiz is not calling out Terence Crawford and the Spence. You know what I mean? He may say, yes, I will fight these guys. Yes, I wouldn't mind fighting these guys. But if he has a hit list, who is on it? Jaron Boots Ennis has a fucking hit list. And it's real fucking simple. You know what I mean? From top to bottom. You know what I mean? From Crawford, Spence, whatever. And from the top to the bottom, I mean, he is number 3 or 2 on the list, okay, if you look at Virgil Ortiz. And depending upon, okay, Virgil Ortiz just fought McKinson. Now, depending upon who Jaron Boots Ennis fights next, and if Jaron Boots Ennis is successful in that fight, I would honestly say, in my opinion, because I've been saying this shit for a long time, they should make Ennis versus Ortiz. So this way, because they're like the Spence and Crawford as far as the guys is up and coming, like 1A, 1B, whatever. They are pretty much the future of the division. And by them fighting, and whoever becomes, I guess, whoever is victorious, they have a clear path to basically being a guy who is going to be the guy to take the 147-pound division into the future. And everybody pretty much sees Jaronennis as being that guy. He will have the crown. And it's not going to be, you know what I'm saying, for no short period of time. Like, they looking at Jaronennis to reign supreme once he becomes that guy at 147. Lil B-Hop next opponent, your thoughts? Lil B-Hop, you know what I'm saying, like Chris Colbert, they talking about I think they talking about him moving up to 140. I don't think he has an opponent yet. Shit, he was just fucking arguing with fucking Gary Russell. Shit, he tried to fight fucking Gary Russell. You know what I mean? I think they trying to I think he's talking about moving. Is it moving to 135 or moving to 140? Let me know. But I think Chris Colbert was talking about either, because I know he was talking about moving up or moving down. And whichever division that he goes to, he wants to fight the best guy, because he feels as though coming off of that loss, he wants to lay, and he said it himself, he want to let motherfuckers know like what it is. Like, don't get it fucked up. Yes, I did lose, but it ain't nothing sweet out here. You can still get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoever you are. So it depends on who we fight. Matter of fact, I heard, if I'm not mistaken, like I heard them talking about you know what I'm saying, like Frank fighting Frank Martin. Now, if I'm Errol Spence, because after Frank Martin beat Jackson, I believe, like he was talking about fighting Rolly or Isaac Cruz. Now, Rolly, I don't think that's really an obstacle for Frank Martin. Frank Martin is a slick southpaw, has power, great boxer. You know what I mean? He'll probably do the Rolly what Tank did, or he'll probably just break him down and outbox him. Isaac Cruz against Frank Martin will be, in my opinion, I think that would be a tough fight, because Isaac Cruz is a come forward fighter, but Isaac Cruz could also box, and he also is pretty durable. He's a tough little dude, so I think that would be a tough fight. So Chris Colbert versus Frank Martin, I think that'd be a good fight. Chris Colbert, he talked about Frank Martin. Who knows? If Errol Spence, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sure if he already called him out, I don't think it should be that hard to make that fight. Chris Colbert already said, he mentioned the name Frank Martin. So if that's the name they talking about, I don't see why Errol will have a problem making that fight. And Frank Martin, I don't think that he has an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like he's starting to taste that stardom. He's starting to see how it feels to have those lights on him, and he likes it. You know what I mean? He wants to be a star. I mean, his promoter is also pound for pound one of the top fighters in the sport. So he sees all the bells and whistles that comes with being an elite fighter. So, and he's a worker. That's why Errol Spence signed Frank Martin. Errol Spence saw how he works. He has an incredible work rate. He's seen how Frank Martin was working with Derek James. He takes, you know what I mean, he takes instructions well and all that. So he said, fuck it, let me sign this dude. You know what I mean? So he sees the ability in Frank Martin. He feels as though that a lot of these young, talented guys, he can compete with them already. You know what I mean? And he said maybe a couple fights down the line, hey, why not put him in there with Tank Davis? And I think that, honestly, in a year or two, I think that would be a fantastic fight. Frank Martin and Gervonta Tank Davis, two southpaws, you know what I mean? Like, that would be a fantastic fight. And their skill sets, even though I still Tank has some shit in the bag that he hasn't shown yet. But still, for what he has shown and for what I've seen from Tank Davis, yeah, that'll be a good fight a couple years down the line, man. Frank Martin against Gervonta Tank Davis in a year or two, that'll be a fantastic fight. That'll be a fantastic fight at 35. That'll be a fantastic fight. Because like I said, man, Devin Haney is going to be, and being so he doesn't have a mandatory for any of those titles, he's literally just waiting to see how this Kambosos fight is going to end up. If he gets his money, the money that he's going to be looking for, he's going to fight Kambosos. If he fights Kambosos and defeats Kambosos next, then you have to start thinking, okay, who you're going to fight after that? Are you finally going to fight Tank Davis? And if that fight finally fucking happens, that's going to be the next huge fight at 35. That's going to, because right now, 130, Shakur Stevenson got that shit on lock. He got 130 on lock. You know what I mean? And 130, it ain't nothing really there that Shakur Stevenson, you know what I'm saying, can't handle. And 135, so right, 135 is probably gonna be buzzing a little bit more than 130. So if he knocks off Kambosos, gets his bag, that's it. Remain, you know what I mean? He defended his titles. He kept his titles. Now, this will be not only a huge fight, but I believe this will be a huge challenge for Gervonta Tank Davis, because Devin Haney, that will probably most likely be the best boxer that Tank has faced so far in his career. And with his skill set, this is Tank Davis and Devin Haney's skill set, that will be a great fight to not only break down, but I think both fighters are going to have to modify and change and do some things differently in order to disrupt one another to make their game plan successful. Because Tank is explosive, has fast hands, has great footwork, has power, as we all know. Devin Haney is probably the most skilled boxer, you know what I'm saying, at lightweight, has a fantastic jab, as he has displayed when he picked Kambosos apart, and that's going to be a big weapon when he fights Tank, using his jab, using his movement, his mobility, his boxing skill. And Devin Haney does have enough pop on his punches to keep or to make Tank respect him. Can Devin beat Loma? I mean, that's the question. That's one of the things that they talked about. Bob Arum talked about Loma, but like I said, Lomachenko being in the Ukraine, being off at war right now, that takes precedence. So it's hard to put Lomachenko in a category or even in a conversation, because he's on a battlefield. And they thought that Haney getting those titles would be enough to lure him back. But it hasn't. You know what I mean? Because if it has, his ass would have been back. You know, because remember, his country granted him the right and opportunity to come back to the States. But Lomachenko said, no, I want to stay in the Ukraine. So Lomachenko could have been back already. So Lomachenko, don't get it fucked up. It's not like they're making him stay over there because they're at war. No, not at all. Lomachenko could have came back to the States already. And if he wanted to begin training and sit down with Bob Arum, because you know Bob Arum is itching to put Lomachenko in a fight with whoever, because he believes in his skill and ability. I mean that much. Which, why wouldn't you? But Lomachenko himself is taking himself out of the sport of boxing temporarily while he's at war, you know what I'm saying, while he's defending his country. So all this shit is really predicated upon what Lomachenko wants to do. If he decides today or tomorrow to come back to the States, Bob Arum will probably give him a couple of weeks to get acclimated, you know what I mean, because he has to reset mentally. Because I'm telling y'all, like, physically, I understand. I mean, I lie to you not. I'm a soldier myself, former soldier. I know They over there, they doing PT, they working out, they training, you know what I mean? So physically, he's not out of shape. He's not out of fucking shape. And as far as boxing training, it's not going to take Loma a long time to get acclimated, and how all he got to do is step foot in the gym. That's all Lomachenko has to do. Because remember, he's been a professional fighter longer than he has been a professional soldier. So all Lomachenko has to do is just simply step foot in a ring. And especially with his father by his side, it ain't gonna take him long to reacclimate. But they'll probably, Bob Arum will probably give him a couple of weeks to reset, to really, you know what I'm saying, like to get his mind right. Because when you coming out of war like that, you have to cycle your thoughts down. You know what I mean? You have to see where you are at mentally. Because you don't want to be the fuck unstable. You know what I mean? Like, this motherfucker can get in the ring and just fuck around, sit there and look at his opponent like on some 1,000-yard stare shit and don't even come out to fight. So you have to see where Lomachenko is at mentally. And once the mental evaluation is successful and he gets the green light mentally, I mean, the physical is nothing. Lomachenko is another one of those disciplined fighters, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't blow up in weight, you know what I mean? And with his ability, you know what I mean, as far as when he gets in the gym, the way that his father trains him and the way that he locks in when it's time to train, it ain't gonna take no time for Lomachenko to get in fighting shape, man. You know what I mean? He'll probably be able to go through a regular fighting camp. He probably won't need, you know what I'm saying, no 3-4 months and shit. You know what I'm saying? You probably give him 8 weeks, he'd probably be good. But mentally, where is he at? So you got to see where Lomachenko was at mentally, man. Because like I said, you over there at war, bro. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker probably done seen dead bodies. You know what I mean? You done seen buildings blew up. You know what I mean? Places where you grew up or may have visited. You know what I mean? Now you're seeing buildings. You know what I mean? Everything is in rubble and shit. Like, his mind frame has fucking changed and warped. It ain't the same. So now he has to come back and reset and get reacclimated to being a fighter. And I believe that if mentally he is in a good place, despite him coming from war, if he isn't too, you know what I mean, traumatized, if he's not suffering from PTSD, I believe that it won't take him time, well, a lot of time to, you know what I mean, filter a lot of that stuff out, set that stuff to the side, because he's never going to be able to forget about it. It's a part of him now. But can he put it to the side, put boxing back on the front of his mind, get back in the gym, train for a fight, not just to get in shape, but train for an actual fight? Because now when you're training for a fight now, like I said, you're talking about money. People putting up a lot of money. Yes, they want to see you fight, and the fact that they want to see you fight, they have to be willing to put up that money. And Bob Arum, you know, Bob Arum is fucking cheap. Look what he went through with Terence Crawford. But what I will say with Lomachenko, they know people want to see Lomachenko, even though they want to see Terence Crawford too. But a Lomachenko fight, the dollars and cents has always been there. That's always been a safe bet. So with Loma, as long as he's physically ready and mentally ready, Bob Arum, I know they're not going to have any problem investing in him fighting whoever. Now Lomachenko facing Devin Haney, that'll be a great fight. It's not going to be an easy fight, especially for Lomachenko, because like I said, you have to see where he at. And they may not put Lomachenko in there with Devin Haney right away, or Tank Davis, or anybody at the top. They may put him in there with, I mean, a B-level fighter, C plus or B minus, you know what I mean? So he can get a fighter under his belt, see how he looks. And I tell you one thing, if you want to see or gauge Lomachenko to see where he is at, if he is close to being in fight shape, if he is in fight shape, look at his footwork. Because between his footwork and like his general ring IQ, that's where you could tell where Lomachenko is at. If his footwork still looks the same, if his footwork is still crispy and still dazzles, because remember, he's a former dancer, you know what I mean? His father had him in dancing and shit. That's how he developed that beautiful footwork that he displays. So if his footwork is still looking good, still looking crispy, then Lomachenko is ready. You know what I mean? He's ready. And that will be a great fight for Devin Haney. It's not going to be an easy fight, but it definitely will be a great fight, man. And at this point, Devin Haney being a younger guy, also coming to the fight with great skill. I mean, you look at what Teofimo Lopez did. Lomachenko can be beat. He could be beat. But it's not going to be easy. You know what I mean? It's just sometimes you just have those nights in boxing where the stars align and everything just wound up, working in your favor. And that particular night with Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez, that's what happened. Because we seen what happened with Teofimo Lopez when he hopped in there with Cambosos. Like, just wasn't his night. You know what I mean? Just wasn't. It was Cambosos, and he got beat fair and square. So Lomachenko, he's still out there. You know what I mean? But he's still a piece in the game. He's just not on the board. He's just not on the board right now. You know what I mean? But he's still a powerful piece in the game. But he's just not on the board. But once he dusts himself off, and then Bob Baron places him on the board, trust me, he's going to move him accordingly. You know what I'm saying? So he'll probably have one fight to see where he's at, and if he's in a good place, his next fight is going to be with Devin Haney, Tank Davis. Is going to be with one of them, and they are going to take the fight because that is not only a big money fight, that is legacy, that is history. You know what I mean? Lomachenko is one of those names that once you have those names, or once you have that name on your belt and under your belt, as far as you beat them, you know what I mean? That's Hall of Fame type shit. You know what I mean? So if you're Devin Haney, if you're Gervonta Tank Davis, if you get the opportunity to fight a Lomachenko and you defeat a Lomachenko, if you are already on the path to the Hall of Fame, defeating somebody like Lomachenko, that can be that fight that people start putting you in that conversation of you, although being young, you are still on the road or potentially have done enough in your career to be a Hall of Famer. And Devin Haney is already on that road. He's young, you know what I'm saying, at this point or age or whatever, you know what I'm saying, he's probably done, you know what I'm saying, more than Floyd. You know what I'm saying? So he's an undisputed champion, you know what I mean? Like, so if he knock off a couple of big names, like a Lomachenko, a Tank Davis, shit, Devin Haney gonna be, he already on that path. He gonna fuck around and he gonna be certified, man. You know, he's gonna be a certified, ironclad, stamp of approval, Hall of Famer, you know what I mean? So, and especially to do and have those accomplishments, when you're young, because he's still young. He's still got a lot of time in the game. So if he knock off a couple of good names, and then if he decides to leave 135 and then go to 40, and 140 got some talent at 140. And I believe he said that, like, if he moves up and he relinquishes the titles, he wants to move up and fight for a title immediately. So if he moves to 40, he wants to fight the champ immediately. You know what I'm saying? I doubt if he goes to, 130. Because if he goes to 130, then he got to fight Shakur. And in my opinion, Shakur Stevenson, he beats Devin Haney. Especially if Devin Haney comes down to 130 from 135, shit, most certainly. Because Shakur he's getting stronger, he's getting better, with every fight. So I wouldn't recommend that if I was Devin Haney. And eventually, when Devin Haney moves out of 130 to 135, pound division, once Shakur Stevenson is finished at 130, he's going to move to 135. And he's going to dominate 135, just like he did at 130. So a lot of these guys, man, it's like they have the path in front of them is really is really nice. You know what I mean? Because you got talent within your division. Then you have some of the top guys who have had their run. They're starting to grow out of the division and go on to the next. So this is giving guys an opportunity to come up and fight for their spots. Man, I'm telling you, man, between 130 to 154, man. Like, it's not only talent, man, but these guys are, I mean, the divisions, man, I'm talking about, like, it's going to be real, like, for years to come, these divisions are going to be electric. It's always going to be great fights to talk about between 130 and 154. And 160, man, like 160, that's hopefully, like I said, with Benavidez and Morrell, Boo Andre, like these names, hopefully when guys start fighting each other, 160, because one time, man, middleweight used to be popping. Back when damn, man, what's the boy name, man? Daniel Jacobs. You know what I'm saying? Like back when Daniel Jacobs and was in his prime and Triple G was in his prime. You know what I'm saying? Like 160, 168, like these divisions, because eventually, man, Canelo is going to get beat. You know what I'm saying? He just has to give the right person an opportunity, whether it's Charlo or whether it's Benavidez. And Canelo is going to get knocked off. If Canelo faces Benavidez or Charlo, he's going to lose. One of these guys has what it takes to beat. I'm going both of them do. But I believe that between the two of them, I believe Benavidez probably will get a chance before Charlo. Because for some reason, Canelo does not like the way that, quote unquote, Jamar Charlo, you know what I'm saying? They don't like the way they handle themselves. They always run their mouth. You know what I'm saying? He don't like their fucking energy. You know what I mean? So I tell people, man, like, why you gotta watch what you say, because everybody not on that talking shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you can talk yourself into some shit opposed to talking yourself out of some shit. And you can talk yourself out of an opportunity. And that's what the Charlos have done as far as Canelo. They have talked themselves out of possible opportunities, you know what I mean, with future fights with Canelo by running their mouth. So Benavidez, that's why you notice, like, Benavidez, like, he always be like wanting to say certain shit, but he always keeps it clean, and he always kind of, you know what I mean, he always kind of stays humble, because he knows that shit is going to wind up trickling right back to Canelo, anything that is said, and then that's going to knock him out of contention. You know what I mean? But eventually, Canelo's going to get tired. He's going to either want to move up, move down, or who knows, walk away from the sport. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at this point, Canelo, certified Hall of Famer, Canelo, he don't got to do nothing else, man. If Canelo retire right now, he's good. You know what I'm saying? I think he may be contractually obligated with DAZN for like another fight or two or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I mean? But I definitely know he got a couple more fights with DAZN before, you know what I'm saying, he can before he's done. But after that, I mean, Canelo could walk away from the sport, man. And then once he walks away, relinquishes the belts, shit, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Benavidez, Charlo, whoever. Like, these dudes are going to, I mean, then at that point, they're literally going to have to fight for the top spot. You know what I mean? That's why Canelo already told him, you know what I mean? Like, fight each other, and then I'll fight you. But these guys still don't want to fight each other. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? Like, Boo Andre, nobody don't want to fight this guy. You know what I'm saying? Benavidez, it's hard for him to get a shot. You know what I mean? Charlo, I mean, it is what it is. That's why I said the lower guys from 130 to 154, like, these are the divisions where, like, at least these young guys with the lower weights, at least these guys are fighting each other. You know what I mean? You see shifts in power. You know what I mean? Like, these guys at the higher weight divisions, like, they don't want to fight, which I don't know why. Because as you get up in the higher weight divisions, these are the divisions rather where guys used to fight. You know what I mean? Because the heavyweight division it used to be, it should be but that's no longer the principal division or the supreme division over everything. At one time, it was. But now, it's fucking the lower divisions. You know what I'm saying? If it's not, 135, it's 147. You know what I mean? Like, these are the premier and best divisions in boxing. They're bursting with talent. You know what I mean? You have young, great, solid champions who, once they are in position and they have the skill and ability to maintain that position for quite some time. Now, with the heavyweight division, you know what I mean? Like, since you got guys leaving, you got guys retiring when they want to. So between Usyk and Joshua, I mean, whoever wins this fight, again, probably going to be Usyk. That's what I'm picking. If it's Usyk, if you got Tyson Fury going, you know what I mean? Wilder coming back to the sport, Wilder get a couple of fights under his belt, probably going to have a Wilder Usyk type of fight. Hard to say Wilder can beat somebody like Usyk, but it'll be a hell of a fight. It'll be a huge fight, big money fight. Fuck around, Wilder may retire again after that payday or after that fight. So, and with the young guys in the heavyweight division, you got some young talent. You got some young guys that's on a rise that possibly can do some things in the future. But the landscape of the heavyweight division is not what it used to be. Yeah, I mean, heavyweights are even smaller than what they used to be. Like, they used to clown Deontay Wilder about being 214 pounds, which he cut that weight. He cut that weight off that he put on for Tyson Fury. He's back at one. He's back. He's pretty much Wilder 1.0. He's the original version of himself, and he was knocking everybody out at that weight. So a lot of these young guys coming in and coming up in the division, they 214, 220, 25 pounds. Like, these dudes aren't. You know what I'm saying? They're not that big. You know what I mean? They're not that big like Tyson Fury. They didn't win 300 pounds. No, they're not that big. So the landscape of the heavyweight division has changed. So, but like I said, man, like, I mean, we got some. We had this weekend fights was okay. You got Teofimo Lopez. He's coming up, but in my opinion, man, like, Bud and Crawford, Bud and Spence, they have the boxing world in limbo, figuring out when this fight is going to happen. Because once they figure out the details or whatever was going on with the fight, once these guys fight, I'm telling you, like, this fight is going to open up boxing in so many ways, especially within the welterweight division. Because once they figure out and once they finally fight each other just one time, you'll start to see how the welterweight division is going to look and be shaped moving forward. You'll be able to see, is it going to be a room for somebody like a Thurman, for UGAS? Because these dudes, they over 30. You know what I mean? Just like Sean Porter walked away, another loss. You can see Thurman probably walking away. Crawford. Spence has already said he would like to go to 154. Bud said he would like to go to 154 to face Charlo. So that's the two top welterweights right there out the way. So then what's going to happen with UGAS? You want to fight these young guys, because that is all that is going to be left. The tie and their skill too. So you can see UGAS fighting somebody like Boots, Virgil Ortiz, Conor Benn, Stanionis. He's going to have to, because that's going to be the pecking order. Those are going to be the guys left in the division once Spence and once Crawford leave the division. And being as though UGAS isn't a champion anymore, he's not necessarily going to be looked at as the top dog. He may be one of the better fighters in the division, but the top dogs are going to be probably Boots and who's ever under him, Virgil or whatever. And I'm telling you, once Virgil fights a credible opponent, if he fights somebody like Conor Benn, or Boots Ennis and he loses, his career is going to change. His career is going to change. Mark my words, when Virgil Ortiz gets his first loss, his career is going to change. Right now, they're selling that undefeated 19 knockout. They're selling that boat as long as they can sell it. But see, the thing about it is they keep selling that boat out to deep waters. And eventually, they're going to have to fight somebody dangerous. They're going to have to fight somebody dangerous. So whether it's Stanionis, whether it's Conor Ben, whether it's Boots Ennis, whether it's Bud Crawford, those names, even Stanionis, you know what I mean? All those names that was mentioned are capable of defeating Virgil Ortiz. And they are harder fights for Virgil Ortiz than any of his 19 opponents. Jaronennis alone will be the toughest test that he shall ever probably face in his career. And Boots already said, I want that fight. Like, that's the beautiful thing about Boots, man. Like, he don't give a damn. You know what I mean? All you got to do is send a contract. There's no point in even talking about this person versus this person. I'll fight anybody. And when you can fight anybody and you're willing to fight anybody, now that's a true competitor. That is how it should be. The best should always fight the best, period. You got an open invitation, you know what I mean? All you have to do is sign, or send rather, the contract. You don't have to do a lot of talking, because talk is cheap. If you really want to fight, you know who I deal with. You know what I mean? Especially with Steven Espinosa. If you don't know who my promote manager is or whatever, you know I deal with Showtime. You tell your people to get with Steven Espinosa, well, no, he know where to find me. He know where to get with me. We can talk about it. We can hash the numbers out, and we can make whatever fight happen. So, like, I don't know when, but I'm going to say, like, probably, man, within the next couple of weeks, few weeks, something like that. Because Jaron Booson, he's been hitting at that shit since last week, talking about, you know what I'm saying, fight date coming soon. I'm feeling sharper than ever. You know what I mean? He's putting out training footage. I just got finished dropping some training footage that Boots put out yesterday. I mean, he looks sharp, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he always looks sharp, but it's like Boots really look fucking sharp. You know what I mean? So, Speedy Rashidi Ellis, now he's with the PBC. That could possibly be, he said he wouldn't mind fighting Boots. That's also an up-and-coming welterweight that could possibly see some work in the near future. And he said he wants that work. So I just can't wait, man. You know what I mean? Because it's one thing I hate to do just as a person, as a man, is speculate. I don't like to speculate too much, and I don't like to assume. It's easy to, when you look at the narratives or whatever in front of you, sometimes you can't help but to speculate, but even you have to retract and refrain from doing that to the degree of, if you don't have all the facts and if you're not hearing it from quote unquote the source, then don't allow too much bullshit to be said. Because, you know what I'm saying, when people start painting pictures and shit, everybody is fucking Picasso, especially if you're a liar. You know what I'm saying? Lying motherfuckers paint the most beautiful portraits, you know what I'm saying? Because that's all they got. So that's why I never try to do that shit. Never try to speculate, never try to, you know what I mean, lie, fake news, all that bullshit, no. Anything I talked about, you know what I'm saying, is either came from the source or that is the news because that's what the community is talking about. You know what I mean? But as far as the fights, man, like I said, man, we have some great fights coming up in the welterweight division. Even with fucking, funny to say, even with Blair COBBS, you know what I'm saying, beating Mo Hooker. Blair COBBS may even see in his next fight. So look for Blair COBBS to fight somebody. I don't know who, but look for Blair COBBS, you know what I'm saying, to possibly fight somebody. I don't know if they'll be in the top 5. Most likely not. You know what I'm saying? But they may be in the top 10. because Blair COBBS has proclaimed himself after his victory over Mo Hooker. Now he puts himself in the top 10 as far as the welterweight division. I don't know. But as far as his next opponent ain't gonna be nobody in the top 5. Maybe he may be able to fight somebody in the top 10. Maybe. I think Blair COBBS versus Speedy Rashidi Ellis. I think that would be a good fight. You know what I mean? I think that'd be a good fight. Speedy Rashidi, Blair COBBS. He like to talk. I think that'd be a good test. You know what I'm saying, for both of them. Because Blair COBBS, he did look good in his last fight. What did I say? Oh shit. But yeah, I think my you know what I'm saying, my battery is getting low, man. So I'm about to wrap this up, you know what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, you know what I mean? We talked about some good fights, man. There's some good fights coming up on the board. And I want to talk about the Joshua and Usyk fight a little bit more, because like I said, with Wilder coming back to the division, a lot of people be hating on Wilder, man. I mean, he can't box, yada yada yada. Look, I know he's not the best boxer in the division, I know, but look at how many successful title defenses that Wilder had for somebody that can't box. He's knocked out everybody, you know what I mean? Only has, you know what I'm saying, that one loss, you know what I'm saying, 1 or 2 losses. Come on, man. You know what I mean? You can hate on Wilder all you want, man, but guess what? He's a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? He is a Hall of Famer, and he is back. And I'm personally, you know what I'm saying, can't wait to see who he faces next. So I'll be watching Wilder's situation, Shelly Finkel and company, Showtime. I'll be looking at to see what they're talking about for him moving forward. And like I said, I'm gonna comb the social media airwaves and see what I can find for the Joshua and Usyk fight. And I think that may be the next live. I think we're going to feature the heavyweight division when we come back on the next one. So, and look like we're about to hit, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Try to wait till we hit 2 hours, man. You know what I mean? Just so we can get it, you know what I mean? Knock that shit flush out on the head. So before we leave, just want to check the chat and make sure that I wrenched up everybody who I said I was. There's only, I think, one person that I'm missing. Gladys Rogers. I think that's a lady. And she was new to the chat also. Okay. I mean, hopefully she comes back. I love to see the ladies in the chat. You know what I mean? Because they know, you know what I'm saying, they know more about boxing, you know what I'm saying, than some of us. So yeah, man, it's been I don't know who just came in, man, but smash that like button if you just came in. Please try to get the likes up to 5, you know what I mean, before we get up out of here. If you have any questions, you know what I mean, put it in the comments before we get up out of here. We'll certainly talk about it or answer it before we leave. But it was good though, man. Whoever just came in, again, smash the like button. If you have any questions in regards to anything that we talked about, let me know. But hey, I don't know if you still in here, Dale. What you think about that, man? You know what I'm saying? The next stream, we're going to premiere the heavyweights. Probably another fight or two. See what's coming up. But the premiere is going to be the heavyweight division. We're going to talk about Joshua versus Usyk, and also we're going to throw some Wilder in there also. So, what do you think? What do you think about that? Because if so, you know what I mean, get your questions ready, because that's how we. Because I think that's looking at my notes. I already put that down as one of the potential, you know what I'm saying, lives that we were going to do. That I was going to do next, so I could check this one off of the box. And the next one, like I said, is Joshua versus Usyk. So I think we could talk about that next, because that fight is getting closer. And I seen some footage on Usyk, and Usyk looks good. He looks good. He looks sharp. Looks fast. His mobility looks really, really good. So I like how Usyk is looking. So I most certainly want to talk about their upcoming fight, and with Deontay Wilder coming back to the fold. The heavyweight division is most certainly starting to heat up, and I want to be one of the first channels that gets and keeps the fire burning as far as that conversation. So I think we're going to talk about that next. But appreciate y'all for getting them likes up. We have hit the 2-hour marker. So so to the family, man, who are still here, if you're just coming in, please smash that like button, you know what I mean? But we are wrapping it up. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments. You can answer it before we get up out of here. But I'm gonna get up out of here, man, you know what I mean? Because it's dinner time, and I'm ready to eat. Hold on for a second. Hold on. Oh, my bad. But yeah, like I said, we still got a few people in here, man. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, if y'all got, like I said, man, if y'all, because I'm ready to wrap it up, man. So like I said, if y'all have any questions or whatever, comments in regards to the next screen, ideas for the next screen, put it in the chat right now. But they'll already know, you know what I mean. If you dive into the comments, even after the stream, you know what I mean. If you restream, or you know what I'm saying, put it in the comments after the stream. I do still check those messages, and I do or will answer you back. You know what I mean? I try to pride myself on that. If you take the time to put out a comment, you know what I mean? Like, I make sure that, you know what I'm saying, I get back with y'all. You know what I mean? So if not now, like I said, man, y'all can go back, watch the stream again, share it. You know what I mean? Hey, that's another thing too, man, before we get up out of here, man. If you guys are a part of any Facebook groups, like I'm a part of a lot of, especially as far as boxing, a lot of boxing Facebook groups. Like, when we while we are in the stream, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna start asking y'all, especially my moderators, I'm gonna find out if you guys are a part of any groups. But while we streaming, you know what I mean? Like, start to share the stream to your groups while we are streaming. You know what I mean? So we can, you know what I mean? So we can get people involved and put people on, you know what I mean, to the conversation as well. Because I know a lot of these groups, a lot of these conversations and topics that we talk about, they're talking about in some of these groups as well. So that'd be a nice segue to get people from the groups involved into the conversation as well, and also bringing them into the community, because that's what we're doing right now. We're building our community, you know what I'm saying? This is Talk Nation, baby, you know what I'm saying? We rising like high blood pressure, and I appreciate y'all because we have been growing. The numbers have been great, especially last month. Last month was one of my best months, you know what I mean? Did real good, did real good numbers, you know what I mean, last month. And starting August, numbers have been good. I mean, especially with streams, everything, man. Numbers just have been solid starting off, you know what I mean? So I appreciate y'all because it ain't me, man, it's y'all, you know what I mean? Yes, I do make the content, I put the content out, but especially as far as the lives, man, like you guys are a huge part of that, you know what I mean? The community is you. I am the community. I appreciate you guys, man, all your help, your support, taking the time out your day to watch and support. You know what I mean? I appreciate that. For every comment that you guys put out, I appreciate it. That's why I try to do my best to acknowledge it, answer it, you know what I mean? Because it's more than just a comment, you know what I mean? It's your opinion, and your opinion matters in this community. So I want to make sure that you guys understand and you guys know that as we move forward, because I would like for us to progress, but more importantly, move forward and grow together. So that's why the guys or the people that I moderated so far, like, this is a community, man. Like, I'm building up, you know what I'm saying? I'm building up that Talk Nation army. So eventually, man, we are going to be, we are already one of the best channels out there, you know what I mean, in my opinion, you know what I mean? So, but as far as physical numbers, we're going to be one of the biggest and the best as far as quality, because numbers, some of these channels may have the numbers, but they don't have the quality. I want our channel to not only have the numbers, but also have the quality. I want us to be able to bring, at some point, the Showtimes, the PBCs, you know what I mean, or the fighters themselves, you know what I mean? I want us to be able to sit down and have conversation with everybody, especially the players of the quote-unquote game, you know what I mean? So that is the long-term goal, but right now we're growing organically, slowly but surely. I'm most certainly patient. I'm most certainly appreciative of everything. And on that note, man, like I said, I'm going to say blessings, man. I appreciate you guys. But most certainly, man, I'm about to get up out of here. And I may go live tomorrow. So just make sure y'all got them notifications on. So when I go live tomorrow, y'all can join in. It may be in the afternoon. It may be possibly around 5 or 6. Or I may do one early in the afternoon. I'm going to have to see. And it all depends on how I do when I start doing my homework, because like I said, I like to put certain things together before we actually do the live, so we can have some narratives so we can talk about. So I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one, man. I appreciate you guys, and I'm gonna catch y'all. See y'all tomorrow, man. Peace, God bless, and enjoy your evenings wherever you are at in the world. Peace out.